Guys, welcome back to Uplate with Charlie Ranger. I hope they were some pretty great ads. Hopefully you've got some ideas of some early Christmas shopping or something like that. But before I go on too long about things that aren't important, I would like to welcome our very first guest ever on the show. She's been the leader of the Australian Sex Party since its foundation in 2009. And to keep the intro short, she's one of the most refreshing politicians you're ever likely to meet. Fiona Patten, welcome.
Charlie, thank you.
No worries. I think it's true, isn't it?
Well, look, I've heard people say that, but, you know, it's not a really high bar.
Sure.
There,
sure, yeah.
actually.
Well,
so,
in this country, it's not.
No,
Some
that's
places
right.
they do okay.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of refreshing people out there. Actually, I am going to Scandinavia, and I reckon they'll be refreshing.
Yeah, right.
Like Norska refreshing.
Is that going to be cold at this time of year?
I don't know.
Great. Well, we should talk about this for longer. This is great.
The weather in Scandinavia.
Fiona, I want to talk to you about a few things to do with the Australian Sex Party. The first being the name of it, which I'm sure you have heard, you know, or been asked about so many times, bashing your head against a brick wall. But I want to know, you know, I read that you first chose the name as a means of cutting through and getting your policies out there and heard. But did that also, you know, at the same time mean that you had to fight off people not taking you seriously as a party?
It did, Charlie. And I mean, in some ways, it's kind of like, it's the poor man's name for a political party. When you don't have a lot of money, you've got to think of how are you actually going to break through? And, you know, we started the party just, I mean, out of frustration over a range of things. But the final straw was the internet filter that our Senator Conroy was proposing. And at that stage, we just said, right, we'll have to take it up to the ballot box to run these arguments. And thinking about a name, we thought, look, the Civil Liberties Party, but I did a bit of a straw poll, no one knew what that meant.
Do you?
I know what it means.
Sure,
I know
great.
what it means, you know. The secular party. Actually, I wanted to call ourselves the Liberal Party.
Okay.
You know, because that's what we were.
Well, that brings some baggage with it.
It does.
I don't know if you know that.
Yeah. And then I thought the ALP, the actual Liberal Party.
Yep.
But no, I mean, at the end of the day, we did need a name that would shine out on a ballot of a lot of people. And we thought we're around sex and censorship, we're around same-sex marriage, we're around sex education, sex discrimination, censorship, which generally when things are being censored, it boils down to sex. And what's wrong with that word? And so it did get us heard, and it is a double-edged sword. I mean, some people, I've had people say to me, I agree with every single one of your policies, but I could never vote for you because of your name.
Oh, well, they're intelligent people then.
That's right, that's right. But, you know, it's funny, I mean, now that I'm in Parliament, you know, people just go, oh, yeah, there's Fiona from the Sex Party.
Yeah.
You know, when I first got elected, there's Fiona from the Sex Party.
What's the worst joke that you've constantly had to put up with when you tell people, I'm the leader of the Australian Sex Party?
What time is the party? Can I bring a friend?
Oh, what time is the party?
Yeah, what time is the party? God. I know, it's so funny.
Wow, that's great. So that's like the one you just get all the time?
Yeah, get that a lot. Can I bring a friend?
Nice, yeah, great.
You know,
just really classy stuff.
Classy stuff, that's right. And now most people just go, can you change your name, please?
Can you?
We can change it anytime we like. I just can't think of a better one. The Air Party.
The Air Party?
Well, I'm just saying sex is such a fundamental part of our lives. I mean, we only breathe so we can have sex. I mean, we're here to procreate. So it's such a fundamental part of our being that, you know, I don't know why everyone gets so hung up about it.
Sure.
You know, Sex Party, the common sense party. I think that has a nice ring to it. I think
it's
that
long.
Kind of,
it's long. You get tired writing that
It's long. That's right. You know.
Which party are you from?
Yeah.
Oh, give me a minute.
No, that's right. The Uber driver says, "Where are you from?" I'm from the Sex Party, the common sense party. You know, and he's already dropped you off.
Is it hard being a progressive party in the current Australian political climate?
It's you're kind of on a seat on your own. That's sure. Like, you know, there's not many friends in the cafe that sit at your table. But in Victoria, and I know this is unusual to say this, but the government's not doing a bad job. And they are relatively progressive. And Premier Andrews has set out a list of things to do which are around, things like same-sex adoption or the apology around the homosexual laws that we've had, or so medicinal cannabis. So it's kind of a good time to be in there, and they need my vote. So
Okay.
as unprogressive or progressive as they may be, they need my vote.
Sure.
Not all the time, but sometimes. So it does give me a chance to hold my platform and actually achieve things. And society is moving in a progressive way. It's just the poor old politicians are catching up.
Is it just like listening to you speak about that there, is it rewarding for you being a politician, or is it like, does it just wear you down sometimes? Because it looks pretty brutal from outside.
I think if you're part of one of the major parties, it's really brutal. Like, you think that they're looking at their opposition across the way, but they're not. Their opposition's right behind them.
Right.
It's seeing what happens with those large parties. That's brutal and scary. It can be hard, and you're just one voice, and you're trying to make a change. And I go in there with this kind of Pollyanna thing. Well, I'll just come in here and change a few laws and do a few things, and it's not quite like that.
Yeah.
But no, I actually really enjoy it.
You have been successful as well, though, in your time in Parliament, haven't you?
Well, yeah. I don't think anyone really expected us to, get a private member's bill up, legalise Uber. Oh, I shouldn't possibly take complete credit for it, but I will,
Yeah, of course.
Drugs inquiry, voluntary euthanasia.
Speaking of Uber, I'm going to interrupt you there because we have something set up tonight, which is a bit ridiculous, but we thought we'd
I'm nice
drag
to
out
all
one
Uber
of
drivers.
these
Oh,
amazing things,
wow.
and we thought we'd get you. Now, this is
I've
not.
seen them in the history books.
This is nothing to do with history books, with a little old TV show called Top Gear. We didn't take the idea from that.
No, I've
we
never
were
watched
hoping
it.
you might. A is to
Oh my God,
accelerate, and then
on
you
live
can steer
television,
with the
so the
joystick.
blue
Yeah.
button is accelerating.
And I've just, yep, there we go. So hold the blue button down. Yes, DK. So I'm going to apologise because I totally gave you the control as the race was starting. We thought we'd do a bit of a hot lap, just because why not? And we thought if Q&A's watching, then they're going to get some great ideas.
Them. Like,
So this is what's called grass,
right.
and this is a racetrack,
Oh,
and
I
that's so this is where
see.
you
Gotcha.
want to stick to. This is like a total blast from the past, and something we think more politicians should be getting involved with.
Can I do a shortcut? No.
No, you can't. But, yeah, straight into the brick wall is kind of a shortcut. We're in 7th place. So Fiona, is this sort of something you could see coming into Victorian Parliament as a means of...
Look, we're not allowed to read newspapers in Parliament.
Really?
Really.
Oh, wow.
So
a bit of
this
DK
actually could
be
work.
perfect. Oh my God. Is it a tense environment every time you go in?
See, I walk a lot. I don't drive much.
Yeah, right. Well, clearly.
As you can see, I like to walk on the grass.
We were going to do all 3 laps, but at this rate, we might run out of time. But keep going.
There we go.
Look,
Hey,
here's a
did
hot
I
lap.
get him?
Yeah, keep going because we've still got a bit of time. So we'll
find
log
straight.
that first lap.
Yeah.
Is it a tense environment every time you go into Parliament, or is there a chance to?
It's less tense. It used to be really tense. I'd be really nervous, and but now it's you get a bit of a confidence. Not on this game though, really.
Yeah,
I think
right.
I'm actually better in Parliament than on this game.
Fantastic.
But, now I sort of do feel like I can say what I want to say.
That could be a dangerous thing.
I know. Except for swearing, you're not allowed to swear.
Absolutely.
And I've learned that. And I haven't used parliamentary privilege to say mean things about anyone just yet. But
And rightly so.
I know.
And with that, Fiona, thank you so much for coming in. Thanks for putting up with our silly little Mario Kart.
No, that was great fun.
We're going to throw to another
Embarrassing.
break, and when we come back, we've got Melbourne-based band The Shabab coming up.